So this lab or practical is going to be on password recovery on the Cisco router. So basically you need a physical connection to console into the router to do all the configuration, to do the recovery steps. So all you need to do is take a console cable, connect to the console port of the router, and connect to the RS232 port to a serial DB9 connection, 9-pin connection. So on the PC or the laptop. So right now what we need to do is click on the PC. This is the basic values where you need to use those to connect to the router. So here we are on the router. So the font is too small, so I'll use this router. So because I can't change the font on this thing, I'll use that router to configure this thing. So I'll show you the running config. I haven't configured anything apart from the basic interface configuration and the VTY and nothing else. So all you need to do is go into the global configuration mode, type in enable secret and type whatever. This is my password, which I'm not going to able to remember that one. So and type in copy run start copy running config into the startup config. And before that, I'll go to show you the show version command. Here it will show you the Cisco iOS, which is .bin in .bin format, the processor, the interface which the router or the switch will be using, and the RAM, NVRAM, and the flash memory which it's having. So, and this is the important part, the configuration register, where it will load the iOS from the flash, then it will load the NVRAM, it will load the startup config which is stored in the NVRAM, and then the NVRAM will be copied into the running config which is stored in the RAM. So all we need to do over here is close this thing, go on to the router, physically go onto the router and toggle between on and off. So right now we are going to turn it off, then turn it on. So now go to the PC, go to the terminal emulator, default configuration over here, and click Control break. This will vary depending upon the different keyboard configuration. I'm using a HP laptop, so I have to use a function key over here, control function and the break button. On the default keyboards, the basic keyboards where desktop PC uses, it will be control and the break will be in the top left, top right corner where the numeric keys are. So right now all we need to type here is conf reg 0x2142. Before, the default configuration was 2102. Now we are changing it to 2142. Why? Because we need to bypass the startup configuration. So why? Because we don't know the password. So right now what this will do is bypass the startup config and directly will go to the running config. This happens the when the router boots up, it will load the mini iOS, not the default iOS, which mini iOS is basically used to deal with the password recovery and stuff like that. So after that, it will directly go into the running config, and all we need to type here is confreg 0x21 photo and type enter, and we need to type reset over here. So we'll close over here because I don't want to configure the router from here because the font is too small and I can't increase the font size over here. So I'll go over here on this router. Okay, now we have to type no, enter. So as you can see, the router is not loading the default configuration which we done. Before it was named as R1, now it's loading as default as router. I'll show you. Show running config. There's no configuration on this router right now. Why? Because we have just bypassed it without loading the startup config. Now what we need to do is go into the global configuration mode and type in copy startup config and run. Oh, sorry, I need to type in the privilege exec mode. Copy start run. Okay, hit enter. Now if we do the show running config, it will show all the configuration which we had done before. This is the configuration. The host name is R1, before it was router, and the password is over here, which we don't know actually, and the 5 is the MD5 encryption method. So right now what we need to do is go in global configuration mode, and first off we need to change the password, which we can do is to type in enable secret, and let's say we'll type class. Okay, now what we need to do is change the configuration register, because we don't want to bypass the startup config again. Since we know the password right now, we have resetted the password to class. So we have to type config register, config dash register, and 0x2102 instead of 2142. Now if I show you the show version, so right now it still has the same value, which is 2142. This thing will only change when you reset the router or reload the router. So right now we need to do is, before that, make sure you try to copy running config into the startup config. Without that, it won't copy the changes you have made, which is the configuration register value, which is from 2142 to 2102, and the password you have changed. If you don't save this, then it will again load directly, bypass the startup config and load the running config, and it won't copy all those values you have done. So click enter and type in reload. Okay, confirm it. So now that it's reloading, you can either go into this terminal or that. See, it is changed to R1, but I'll go over here because the font is too small. Okay, type enable. Okay, now it's asking for the password. So what's the password? Which is class, and we are into the privilege exec mode. If you want to go into the global configuration, we can do that. Exit out of there, show run. Okay, this is the default configuration which we wanted to have, and the password is class, which is encrypted right now. And if I try to show you the show version, So right now it is changed to 2102, which is default. Now it's loading the def and it is loading the startup config from the NVRAM, and it's not bypassing it. So I hope I have done okay. This port will get deactivated. So all we need to do is go into this interface fast and 0 and type in no shut exit do right. Okay, copy the running config in your startup config. Now it's activated. I hope you all understood, and if there is a problem, please let me know. Thanks a lot.